What's poppin', beautiful people? Hello for a second time today. Good evening. We are back. We were live earlier this morning with K1J TV. Thank you for being here again, James. I appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
Making things happen today, friend. I do encourage everybody, click the link in the description of this video so that you can subscribe to the Watch Your Mouth Reviews channel. That is James's channel. There's also links in the description to myself and James's new channel, which is the Watch Your Best Friends channel. So I hope that everybody tunes in. Lord help us. I hear my tea kettle going off. That's going to distract us.
Oh, I was like, what is that?
It's my... So for those who don't know, I am a huge tea drinker. I love tea, especially when I'm exhausted like I am right now. I'll drink some caffeinated tea. But let's just start getting into the episode so that I can go tend to the... Or actually... And my husband can't hear me because he got on headphones. Anywho, let's get into this boring episode of The Valley, which drove me absolutely insane. I don't know about you, but I was personally just like bored. How did you feel about this episode?
I was bored, but then also, that's my microphone way over there. I was bored, but also I just wanted to say, is this the whole entire drama that we're going to be getting? Like, what is going on here?
It's James keeps saying to me off camera, obviously, which makes a lot of sense, that they don't seem to know the direction that they want to go with this show. And I think that it shows, but I also feel like on Shaws of Sunset, they didn't really have direction either looking back. And I feel like that's why they kind of ended it and didn't keep it going. But hopefully it gets better. Hopefully it gets better. We start this episode with Gigi having a whole freaking meltdown. Thank you. We start the episode with Gigi having an entire meltdown. She has stormed out of her bestie's birthday dinner because she is upset with the person that she invited unannounced. Like, she didn't tell nobody she was inviting Dennis. She just had him go. She flipped out, ran outside. She did apologize to Adam, which is Reza's husband. I didn't realize Gigi and Adam were this close. Maybe it's me, but I did not realize these two were like that close. Like, to a certain extent, it seems like, I know she knows him through Reza, but it seems like she pulled up Adam bonded with her husband like heavy. Because my God. And Adam is a little too chill for me for a friend. Like, bro, it's your birthday. This lady has invited a person that she knows to be disruptive to your birthday dinner in an intimate spot because it's where you also got married to your husband. She took, that is how you take the spotlight and make some shit about yourself with your drama. And I don't like when friends do that. I personally feel like you don't need to make everything about you. That's like just one of my biggest pet peeves. And she may not have, I can't even say it was unintentional just off the simple fact that she invited him. And then I'm like, Gigi, girlfriend, you doing all of this for a man that you say you only married to get back at another friend or something. So I'm like, how can you have this energy for him if you only married him to spite someone else? Do you know what I mean, James?
Why are we marrying people to do that in the first place is the bigger question, because you clearly are childish and immature, and I feel like you have no reason to be mad at that man if that was your intention behind marrying him. You have no reason to be mad at him then, because he did what he was supposed to do. No matter how long the marriage was supposed to last, he did what he was supposed to do.
That's right.
So yeah.
Gigi's a headache. Like, this whole episode, she just did too much, if that makes sense. Reza hints in a confessional because not much happened, so I took notes where I could, y'all. Bear with us. Reza hints in his confessional that Gigi is only with Dennis because Dennis lives in an $8 million house, has lots of money, and regardless on what people say about him, he's good with business. And Gigi, he said his friend ain't got no job. She got to move. She has a lifestyle she can't afford. So, of course, she is going to befriend and be close to Dennis. While I kind of agree, I also feel like Reza, be quiet. because you be throwing the most shade at all of your friends as quiet as it's kept. Like, people throw a lot of shade at his friends. And then he blames it on the culture. It irks me. It just irks me. I don't know if you wanted to add anything to that, because it was like
Here's the thing. I didn't understand what he was saying. I do. But at the same time, I kind of feel like, though she is immature, she is very lost in life. I don't feel like that's the way to be like, okay, I can see why she wanted to reunite with him, because her reason for reuniting with him could have been a completely different thing. As she said in her confessional, she only married him to get back at her ex. It was never a situation where she was deeply in love. She was lusting for him or anything. It was just pure revenge. Like, oh, look what I got. Like, nan, nanny, boo, boo. Like, it was an immature thing. So I kind of felt like if this were a normal circumstance, if that was like a real relationship, I would 100% agree with him. But because this was a relationship out of spite, I don't see it that way.
The other thing is, you talk about this man being your friend for 13 years. So you're going to do this to your friend of 13 years, use him to spite someone else? That's crazy. That's absolutely insane. I'm so sleepy. Anywho, y'all, let's get into the next thing. So the group went out, had a wild night. Everybody had a fun time. At the end of the night, Gigi ends up going to the side and speaking with Sky, which surprised me, because Sky has acted like Gigi is just the nastiest thing to come out the ghetto that has come out the ghetto, even though Gigi ain't never been nowhere near it. And, you know, Sky actually was somewhat, I didn't mind her in this scene with Gigi. She is like, listen, you cannot be so angry all the time. You don't have to go bad and go off on people the way you've been going bad and going off on people. And while I don't like Sky, the message was correct. I just wish it would have came from someone else. But she was right. And Gigi does the same sob story that we hear from everybody. I wasn't allowed to be sad as a kid. They didn't really let me do that. So I turned everything to anger and so on and so forth. At her big age, either you're going to get it or you're not. Either you're going to change or you're not. I'm not saying it's never too late, but at her age, leave her the fuck alone. Like, I really feel like everybody needs to stop. This lady has said she's gone to therapy. She recognizes that this is an issue within herself, and she keeps doing it. At some point, her friends, her parents, everybody that's close to Gigi has to stop coddling her and catching her when she falls. Let her see where her anger will take her. And I promise you, she will figure it out. Let her see what it's like to be a true single mom in California. And I promise you, she will find a way to be okay with smaller accommodations. I promise you. Like, that Gigi on her ass. But how'd you feel about her conversation with Sky?
Like you said, right message, wrong person. Wrong person. I felt like the conversation with Sky didn't really go anywhere. I felt like it was something that producers maybe felt this was the best person to really deliver this message to her, which to me, I would have received it better if it came from MJ personally. If it came from her, then that's where I kind of would have felt like, okay, genuine. This, I feel like she already has an issue. She's already on the show with an attitude as if she's too good for this show. So it just doesn't land the way you would think it would land. That's all I can say about that. I was like, okay.
Yeah, it was weird to see Sky like, okay, now you want to be down to earth, but you've been a bitch this whole time.
This whole time.
I thought I was bougie. My God, she is. Sky
she's
is
a lot. Yeah, she's a lot.
She is. They've been roasting her online. Lord help her. Next thing we're gonna go over is Tannen, or Tanine, as they say it. I like when they say it in they accent because it sounds better. But Tannen and Sky talk, and Tannen is explaining that I'm not gonna go over their talk because it's pointless, because Sky don't hear nobody else.
Right.
But okay, I'm not about to waste my time, y'all. But
don't, because
it was interesting because they both credit each other for being very close friends, best friends, things like that. Tannen, through this episode, I learned that she has a lot, but she has a lot because she works hard. She has a good work ethic. I think she appreciates life because of her accent. or her accident, and she seems more like, she doesn't seem like one of those rich people that is just entirely uppity and gone. She has a standard, but she also has empathy and is not having her nose turned up to the planet, if y'all know what I mean. So Tannen and Sky being friends is kind of an awkward combination. And this episode made me realize something Reza said at the end that I think is true. Sky wants to look and act as if she has this life of income and stuff. I don't think her family was rich, but I think that she did not hear no. And it probably impacted how she is. But she probably is just friends with Tannen because Tannen, as Reza said later on in the episode, is a COO of a company, is supporting herself, her spouse, creating her own business. She's doing everything that Sky wants, down to having a house that's not fully in the valley and beautiful. So I kind of feel like that might be a thing, because when you look at what Tannen was complaining about in their conversation, it's like, well, why are you friends? I'm not going to stay in a friendship where I'm not getting anything in return. I think a lot of us make those allowances in dating and relationships. So you shouldn't have to deal with that with your friends, if you know what I mean. You know, and I haven't dated in a long time, but I have friends that date, and I wouldn't want my friends to feel like I don't give a fuck about the stuff that they have going on. I'm not saying it's perfect, but they should, like, for example, James, like the stuff you've been through just since we've had our YouTube channels, like if you felt like you could not tell me, if you felt like you could not tell me about stuff, or felt like embarrassed or ashamed, or like the reason you didn't want to tell me stuff is because you felt like you get scolded or belittled or something, like that's not a good thing. And I would need to work on my delivery. So the fact that Tannen has sat in this friendship for so long with a person, because Sky is clearly who Sky is.
Right.
Kind of looking at Tannen like, well, why did you put up with her for so long? Especially if you know that she expects things from others that she is not willing to give. This lady don't even treat her husband right.
You know, I have a hard time believing that friendship. I do.
Mm-hmm.
Even though there's proof that there was evidence that they were friends for a long time. But I have a hard time just because they just seem so polar opposite. Like, I didn't, like in a real life situation, I can see why Sky is friends with Tannen, but I can't see why Tannen is friends with Sky. It just does not seem like it's
yes.
Yeah,
that's why I know y'all looking at me crazy, like, why would Mrs. Best question Tannen? But she's a COO, so that tells me that she's very comfortable in the decisions that she has to make.
Right.
And that doesn't just apply at work. That's usually people who end up in positions like that usually have those characteristics outside of work.
Yes.
So it's very hard for me to understand how somebody who analyzes for a living can be aware of something, analyze it, and be okay with being treated like they are less than when they actually got more materialistically, financially, like she has more. So I don't know. I'm looking at Tannen with a side eye.
But yeah, I am too.
Because Sky is Sky, and you still choose to deal with her, girl.
Yeah, I'm like, you know this lady. You know what she about. You know what she's going to give. So nothing she should do should be surprising to anybody.
That's why
I don't even know this lady, and I'm not surprised by her.
That's why we ain't on here in just the 5 episodes we've had of Sky. Notice, y'all, we ain't been on here like, oh, poor bum shot. I just feel for... No, that's a grown-ass man, and to live with her, he know what it is.
No, that's an overgrown-ass man, and to live with her is crazy.
I cannot. If you go pick a younger chick, pick one that's not a headache. Do like Ice-T did with Coco. Okay, bomb shot, you got it wrong. Moving forward, y'all. Gigi and Dennis get into it again. I'm not going to go over this the whole episode. I promise you I'm not. I promise you the fuck I'm not. I've had enough arguments in my own lifetime with all the people that I know in my life. No, Gigi. You're not going to stress me out today, Gonessa. You're not. She gets into it. But in this time, the only thing relevant is he told her, he pretty much said, fuck your couch, fuck your job. You ain't shit. You ain't never going to be shit. You ain't never been shit. That's pretty much what he said.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's pretty much what he said. I'm not even going to go, no money, no job. You don't like, he ripped her to shreds. Even my worst enemy, and James knows there are mutual friends I used to be like that with. that I don't talk to at all anymore. I would not say the things that he said to Gigi to her. I think that if you really consider someone a friend, you don't need to like rip them to shreds. I know stuff happens sometimes and nobody's perfect and you might exchange words, but like you came at her like as an adult, as a whole, like as a woman, as a mom, as a everything. So I'm glad she walked away, yes, but I was kind of weirded out by the fact that he ends up staying. Like, even if the group tried to be welcoming, which I expect for them to do, why would you want to stay? I don't know. Did you have anything to add about their 13th argument?
No, I don't. I want to move on from them. Like, go Nessa, don't bring this man on the show no more. Like,
Vanessa,
don't
the
bring it.
thing of it is, she's interesting enough on her own that you don't need to
Right.
bring this man on this show for anything. You trying to figure it out with your unrealistic expectations in real estate is enough of a storyline. Okay? You're
The fact that
delusional.
I was gonna say the fact that you're delusional, that's a storyline on its own because the fact that this lady has no fear in the world, she got to move out of her house. She trying to find a 10-bedroom house to put her and her one little child in. It's
Make it
like,
make
girl, make it
sense.
make sense.
Make
Like,
it
come
make
on. Like,
sense. We are confused, Godessa. We are all genuinely confused on why you are doing this to yourself.
right. And the fact that you adding this man onto the show, that's only gonna make us even more confused than when we first saw you. So it's like you didn't need to do this. Like this only dug the hole deeper. And
She stressed me out.
yeah,
She
she
stressed
is.
me out. Y'all, they end up discussing the media again. I didn't like it. It just felt disingenuous, especially the way they brought it up to Natasha. She was cornered in a kitchen. And they are asking her about the medium. And I thought it was nice that they checked on her, but a piece of me felt like they were just doing it because they're like, well, we got to give them something on camera. And Natasha basically says she loves her husband. And I do sense the love. And I think she's going through something that's difficult. It's difficult to date someone who's been married and is only not available to you because their spouse passed away. You know, so I get that. She seems to have empathy for her husband, but she also can't help but feel like she's always the second option. I think that her feelings are natural. I think that her feelings are expected. And I sense a lot of love between Natasha and Amir. I don't want to keep going over this though. That's all I have to say with her. Amir, same thing. I mean, he loves his wife and stuff like that. Did you want to add anything to the?
I do. Just because I had hinted at this a few episodes ago, and I had said this because, as I said, I'm just learning, the operatives of death because I'm losing a parent. That's, your first introduction to it. So I'm trying to kind of balance it in, talking with my stepmom as well, and her, trying to go forward as well. That's kind of like where I was like, okay, to me, and I'm going to say this again, and I'm going to catch hell for this. It seems like he literally lost one spouse and then jumped right into another without really doing the work to really move past that situation. And I
Yeah,
get people are saying like, well, no, it takes a long time to grieve. I get that. That's not my argument. My argument is that to me, when you do that, that's when that becomes unfair because there's evidence of it now that we're deeper into the episode. And I had signs of this in the beginning. So I'm saying for her, you have to understand when people do that, they're just trying to fill that void. And I think she has to look at it from that point. Like he had a loss. And the only way he felt that loss was going to be fulfilled is if he remarries and then tries to build a whole nother life without dealing with that. And I think
I
that she
do.
understands it.
I do think that he loves her,
Yeah.
but he definitely did not. So, like, you never get over losing someone. That's the thing people don't understand when dating someone that's experienced grief. Like, they're never going to get over it, but they get to a point in life where they kind of learn to live without the person that was once there. But it doesn't mean they get over it. He is definitely someone that loves his wife. I think Amir's a great husband. I don't have anything negative to say about him, but I definitely think he could stand to go to therapy. And then after he gets to a point in his therapy, because he doesn't want to tackle too much, I think then he should consider going to therapy with her. They should be doing therapy separately and then coming and doing it together because there's a lot that he has to unpack, and I think there's a lot that she probably has to unpack that she doesn't realize and she'll never be able to do with him. And that's okay because it's a sensitive subject. But overall, I think they'll be all right. So I'm not.
Yeah, I do too. I think they'll be fine. Yeah,
I
they
like
look like
both
they've
of
been
them.
through worse.
They do. And I like both of them individually, but I also like them as a couple. They are actually, if y'all pay attention, outside of Reza and his man, they are the only affectionate couple.
Right.
So, I wish Natasha and Amir, well, they kind of remind me of Danny and Nia on the Valley, the original one. They're just kind of likable. But the story, please. Gigi's still mad about Dennis. I'm not going over it again. Pretty much everybody is telling her, listen, girl, you invited him. So you cannot be upset at anybody for being polite to him. I'm not doing this, Gigi.
I'm not either. Like, girl, if this is going to be what the season, if this is what the season's going to be about, you could just go ahead and miss me with this because this is ridiculous. This is so ridiculous. Like for you to be carrying on, throwing these tantrums. Oh my gosh, she is exhausting.
Yep. Now, the group goes to go racing. Nothing happened at this event, but RJ, Reza Jackson, or whatever the hell, you can't drive no more cars. And Amir was so calm. I would have cussed him out because it was very clear he did not have control of the car and was way off from where he should have been. It's like to make a turn, even if he was going slow. Amir was cracking me up though, calmly, how he was telling them, yeah, it was weird. Dude was like yelling and cursing. I was like, okay. I don't get RJ, but he's here. He's here.
It was like to me, they needed more men on the show that were, I guess, arguably straight. So that way it kept the even number of straight people on here. That's because he's very extra. And it does not make sense for him to be here, but I see what they're doing.
Yeah. Like I see what they're trying to do with him, but I don't know. I don't care, but we'll see. Gigi's still complaining about Dennis. So she complained most of the episode. So what ends up happening is Adam and Bombshot. I love that Adam calls Bombshot Bombsy. I don't know why. I just thought it was the cutest thing. And I love how Bombshot is like, I see, you know what it is? Because I was looking at Gigi like, girl, if you don't leave this lady's husband alone and let him be, I know he older, but let him hang out. He ain't trying to be the wise grandpa of the group right now.
Right.
But Bombshot, I think, actually likes the role. He always comes through for Gigi. And it was the funniest thing because they did go to ask Dennis to leave for her. And Dennis left quickly. I don't blame Dennis. I feel like he stayed because production was probably like, just stay as long as you can. And he did. But I'm looking at Gigi. I'm like, I don't like friends like that. Like, I have to remember they're in Palm Springs for Adam's birthday. I don't give a fuck if his birthday passed. If James's birthday happens on the day and then the day passes, but we are still out there kicking it, it's still his birthday till I'm out of town. Shit. So it's like, I don't understand why she's doing all of this on a friend's birthday. I just think it's inconsiderate. But Dennis leaves. Did you want to add anything to Dennis leaving?
Dennis leaves. We can move on.
Y'all, this is why I say I don't know if I'm going to cover this show after season 1. Season 1 of a show, I give people a pass. James will tell you that. I will recap the whole season, even if it's shit, and give them a pass. I'm not doing this next season if it doesn't get better, because most of this episode was nothing, and it's crazy that with 2 of us here, I'm literally about to be done.
That's good.
The group has a dinner after Dennis leaves, and at this dinner, Sky is basically being bougie and has gotten to the group. The group's teeth are itching in ways that they have never itched before. The group is tired of fucking Sky. And why did the group, the way they handled Sky, kind of reminded me of how, like, me, James, and some of the people in high school, if we was all hanging out, that'd probably be exactly how it was. People was getting up from the table. People was fed up. People was mimicking her. It was just a lot of comedy and fanatics. But everybody calls out Sky being bougie. And let me tell y'all, let me get my tea. This was Bombshell while Sky is getting called out.
You know who he reminded me of sitting there? Like, he reminded me of Bill when Jennifer Aiden got that cup slapped on her face. And Danielle was saying, you know, Bill, your wife is a piece of shit. Like, she's a piece of shit. And Bill said, yeah. Mm-hmm. And we're about to eat this.
And then after that, for a lot, she probably still cussing him out about that. You don't have my back, Bill. And you know, Jennifer's from Queens, so all them accents start coming out. That was funny. I love that you brought that up. Because Bombshell did not care. He said while he was sipping his drink, I've been telling this bitch.
That's how you know she's a headache. The fact that he didn't think to say, hey, that's enough.
A table of people's not gonna gang up on me with my husband sitting at it and it go well. Yeah. Like I still want him to calm down and he'll be like, fuck that. So
right. Any person would, but the fact that and they weren't doing a whole lot, but it was
too much for a husband.
It was too much for him to be sitting
especially
there.
With Reza. That's a man.
Yeah.
That's a man. Bombshell. Put your drink down and address Reza.
But that's how you know Sky is a tyrant, though. That's how you know. That's how you know she's a tyrant because he was like, "Y'all get her ass real quick." Because I'm tired.
Get her together.
Get her together.
And I hollered because Reza was like, and that's why Bombshell's just sitting there because he's tired too. He's already in the doghouse.
Yep, exactly. But that's what her ass gets. I didn't look at her. That's what she get.
That's what she get. The way she been acted has been just too much.
Terrible.
But Gigi also pointed out and was like, you have been kind of hating on the Valley, and it doesn't make sense because you realize you're on a show called The Valley. And I was like, you know what, Gigi, finally you said something that made sense the whole episode. Because you were right. Sky is like, I don't like The Valley. What's wrong with that? Nothing wrong. I don't like. And Gigi is trying to explain it's problematic. Next thing you know, Greg pops in. Do you realize I could be offended? I'm offended. I'm telling you I'm offended. Yeah, because I was born and raised in the Valley. Now, I'm not going to lie. Sky would have ate if she would have been like, and where do you live now? Since it's so great. But, you know, she sat there. She pretty much stood on what she was saying. And I kind of respect her for it. She's bougie, but nothing that she's saying hurts anybody. Nothing that she's saying gives racist. Hell, she's proven she'll judge her own people. Okay, the bitch just want to be rich. Okay, and I'm not mad at her for it. Sky said, I'm not settling for less, okay? I give you these kids, I do this, I'm not settling for shit. I want my $2 million house outside of the Valley. And she don't care. She gonna stand on it. And I do respect people like that. I know that may seem odd to y'all, but I respect the person who, even when she is bombarded by everybody, even her husband ain't on her side, she stood 10 toes down and said, I don't care. I said what I said. I don't want to fucking live there. And you know what? Who are they to tell her where she can live and the opinion she can have of where she lives?
Very true.
Okay. Because not everybody in California feels like they have to lessen for the Valley. A lot of people decided to leave the Bay Area, but I'm still here figuring it out. People live where they want to live. It's a fact.
It is a fact, and to me, I feel like that's her right. And I didn't have a problem with her standing 10 toes down on her situation either, of what she wants to do, not wanting to be there. I just feel like at the same time that she's saying that, what are you doing personally to get y'all up out of there other than racking up a huge bill for your husband? What are you doing?
I feel like she wants her husband to do what she probably saw her father do for her mom based on how she described her childhood. But there's more to the shit show. After the whole Valley fiasco, Reza mentions the rubbing serum thing, which was shady again of Reza. Reza is messy as fuck and I would never trust him. I'll go to his husband before I go to him. And Reza mentions pretty much, and Tana had explained that she wanted to talk to Sky about this. Reza throws Tana under the bus by showing that it was discussed. And it's like, Sky, let's talk about the serum. You rubbed it all on her dog. And I'm so glad somebody said that because me and James were irritated. That is the rudest thing. That's like me getting the book Fraternity Row and then putting it next to the litter box. Like, that is so rude. If you're going to support your friend, support your friend. but you don't have to destroy her stuff. You don't even have to use it. You could have just bought it and left it on display for guests at your house, but you don't have to rub it on the damn dog.
Right.
Like, girl. But things get messier because Reza then points out, because Sky is trying to defend that, and she's like, that's my best friend. So what? And when she realizes that her best friend has been feeling away, Sky said, well, fuck you too, Tannen. When the jewelry comes up, Sky is like, nope, I'm not going there because I give her discount. Because Reza is trying to explain that to Sky, like, your friend supports you. She's literally wearing your jewelry right now. And Sky is like, I don't give a damn. I gave her a discount. Now, when it comes to diamonds, if I have friends in the industry of jewels, like true jeweler, I do not expect them to be just out here giving away free stuff unless it's like a 14 karat gold plated bracelet or something.
Right.
But if it comes to like legitimate jewelry, I don't blame her. I would offer my friend a discount, but you're going to pay. But the problem with this is, it's sound like Tannen may be most of Sky's business, because Tannen was like, and I loved her for this, I've spent so much money, discount or not, on her jewelry, thousands, but I'm not going to get into it because, ugh. I said, I love a person who has everything that I may want or more than I have and is humble about what they have. This is how it should be, Miss Manifest Amanda on Beverly Hills, but I'm going to digress. Things get even worse. Here's where I was confused. I understand that Sky was doing a lot, but Gigi's anger didn't make sense to me. I actually think she needs to go on some sort of medication. The anger didn't make sense. Gigi got in Sky's face like she was going to do something to her. Gigi, baby girl, I don't know if you know the way you grew up. If you do that to people where I'm from, in the Bay Area, even Becky in her good pantsuit would tear your ass up for even getting that close to her. Okay, right up in Pete's coffee, right up in Phil's coffee. Becky with the good hair will tear your ass up. Okay? Auntie Lucy, she may look like a professional. She may spray your ass with mace. The way that Gigi acts, calm down. If you're getting mad over big stuff like an ex-husband and a 13-year friendship, fine. But to do this with Sky, it was weird. She told Sky to walk away, and Sky walked away, which I would have done too if someone's screaming and barking in my ear. And I thought she was going to walk away till she turned around and said, you're trash. I don't care. I'm not changing. You're trash. I will drop you like the napkin from my nose. I said, not the napkin from your nose.
I had to look that one up because I was like, wait, is that insulting?
What does that mean?
What does that mean? Yeah, I was upset here. Like, yeah.
You just dropping
dropping. Like, are you trying to say she's snotty? Like, are you trying to say she?
What are we doing?
Like, what are we doing? Like, what is that supposed to mean?
And Bombshell's just sitting there.
Because I would hope you would drop the napkin from your nose. I would hope, and into the trash. Like, this is best. I would hope you would do that. But I don't know. Maybe that's a bigger insult than we come to realize.
I'm gonna give her a bone and say language barrier. But one thing I know about Sky now, she bougie, but she not scary. Sky is bougie, but she not scary. She got her distance and she said, bitch, I'll drop you like my napkin. All right, Sky. She was at her limit. I see why they called that. Did you have anything to add before I end this review of this terrible?
No, it was very.
That's it,
hopefully it picks up next episode. Hopefully.
I don't think it will. I feel like they need to cut it down to 30 minutes. Not everything needs to be an hour, take up an hour time slot on the TV schedule. Bravo, this could have been 30 minutes. It would have made more sense getting to the drama. This, we didn't need more. We just did not need more.
And this better be a one-part reunion. This better not be more than.
Yeah, there's nothing to discuss. And no shade. Shahs of Sunset is back, but not everybody from Shahs of Sunset is back. The other thing is half of these people we don't care for. We're just now getting these people back on TV. So we shall see, y'all. But we are going to be ending this live. I encourage everybody to please see the link in the description of this video. The reason is that we are going to be live a bunch tonight. The next live that we're going to do is going to be on James's channel. We're going to do an updates video. And then after that live, we will be heading over to myself and James's new joint channel to go over our new segment, Besties After Dark, where we're going to talk about dating and love and life and relationships, maybe a little bit of sex, some other things. Come get to know us. We'll also have some guests there, aka the husband. So I appreciate him for that. Other than that, shout out to the replay gang. Let me know if y'all want me to keep covering this show or not. And we will see you on James's channel. Bye.